head coach Carrie Eighmey following 2 wins last week in the SCSC, including a 73-54 win over South Dakota State in the Interstate Series. This week the Oaks are back on the road with trips to Denver and Oral Roberts on deck. And with that, we'll start with opening comments from Coach and jump to the media from there. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, just wrapped up a good week in the SCSC, as you said. Anytime you get opportunities for home games in conference, you want to take advantage, and felt like we did a really good job in the first game against St. Thomas. Second time around, having won the first game, just not being complacent and understanding that we needed to play better and make some adjustments in order to be able to win the second time. So always good to get a sweep of any team in the league. And then, on Saturday, just played a really complete game. I felt like our team was very focused, very attentive to the detail of the scout, and just did a great job of executing, and were able to stretch that one late and obviously get a comfortable win.
With that, Trey, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Good, thanks for asking. Saturday's 19-point win over SDSU was pretty much as dominant as it gets. Kind of, what did that victory mean to you personally and to your program, especially given the history of the rivalry?
For me personally, it's another game, honestly. And for our program, obviously it's been several tries since we've beat them, and for our fan base, obviously that one was fun for them and super meaningful, and so we're glad we could get that one for our fans, and but most importantly for our team. I think this group in particular, I think for them it was, it gives them confidence, to know that they can compete with the top of the league. Obviously, a couple weeks ago, we struggled with NDSU, and I think that was, helpful for our team to see how good we needed to be able to beat, a team that was ahead of us in the standings. So, I think that's the most important thing is for our team was just being able to finally get one of the teams that was above us in the standings, and hopefully give us some momentum as we continue to move throughout the second round of the conference season.
Yeah, in your second year too, do you feel like a win like that can maybe help the trajectory of the program, or at least accelerate the direction you're trying to take it, do you think?
I mean, I think it definitely gives our team, some reassurance that, if we play well and we defend at a high level and rebound the ball, we have a chance to be in games like that and to win games like that. I think hopefully it gives us some momentum. At the same time, I think it's just really important to stay kind of locked in on what is the task at hand. And, we got 2 road games this week that are going to be tough. And, so for our team, it's more of like hit the reset button and let's get back to work and really focus up on what do we need to do to win the next game that's in front of us.
Yeah, you mentioned it a little bit earlier in the beginning, that you've been, what is a performance like that bigger team's confidence and belief in with one another, knowing they didn't just beat a good SDSU team, but really control the game from really start to finish against a high-level opponent?
Yeah, I mean, I think in the last few weeks in particular, we've been through some adversity with different injuries, players missing, whether it's a couple of games or losing Alex for the rest of the season. And I think those experiences, struggling on the road against NDSU, all those things, this team, as new as they are in knowing each other and playing with each other, I think that chemistry just continues to build, that trust in each other. And it's been kind of neat to see them show up for each other and really play together and have each other's backs. And, with a team so new, that chemistry, you can't expect it necessarily to be there, I guess, at the start of the conference season. But, this really from getting along and kind of the chemistry that you need off the floor. That's been there kind of the whole time, but just figuring out how to win together and figuring out, like I said, how to trust each other and play together in those moments of adversity. I think this team's made a ton of progress in that way.
Yeah, you got a shot at season best, 44% from three in that game. How important is that perimeter shooting to your offensive identity, and kind of what's the key to sustaining that level of efficiency?
Yeah, well, that was something obviously we talked about a lot was, they're long and do a pretty good job of protecting the paint, and that we'd probably need to hit some shots. And, thankfully we were able to stretch the floor with the way that we shot it from the 3-point line and had multiple people hit shots. So, I think obviously anytime you make shots, it makes winning a game like that a lot easier. So moving forward, I don't think it's any different. In order to win, games in league, the better we shoot it from the perimeter, the more successful we're going to be. And at the same time, I think we can't underemphasize the importance of the balance of being able to get in the paint and score it in the post. And, that was kind of what happened against St. Thomas. We felt like we were kind of able to establish, the scoring it, in the paint and on the perimeter. And, so two games that were different. We scored it in different ways, but the biggest key was the balance. We were able to have several players in double figures. And, obviously that's for this team, that's how we've been able to be successful.
Yeah, with that win, you guys moved into the number 2 spot in the Summit League. How do you keep this group focused on continuing the momentum you guys have built throughout the season too?
Well, I think, we're coming down to, the second round of the conference season. There's a few weeks left, and I think it helps us when we've got the 4 seniors who have a lot of urgency right now, as they know their careers are coming, closer to an end, and they've got goals that they want to accomplish. And, I think for us, though, it's the standings are what the standings are today, but it could very quickly change, in the matter of a few days. So we've got to just stay focused on what is the game that's right ahead of us. What do we need to do to, 1, be successful in that game, and 2, keep getting better. Because the ultimate goal is for this team to really squeeze out every ounce of potential that's in it, and kind of become the best version of itself. And we feel like we still have some room to grow there. I don't know that we've seen the best version of this team quite yet.
Yeah, just final one for me. You head on the road for back-to-back games at Denver and Oral Roberts on Thursday and Saturday. Kind of what challenges those teams present, and what will be your focus in trying to split matchups and handle the road environment, especially against Oral Roberts, who kind of beat you guys earlier in the year at home?
Yeah, obviously all road games in the Summit are tough and challenging. I think Denver, they're really good at home. I think last time I checked, they were like 8-3 at home and struggled a little bit more on the road. So clearly a really good home team. And, they mix up defenses and so you see a lot of different stuff. And so you got to prepare for several different things on especially the offensive side of the floor. And then, like you said, ORU, we struggled with them here. They played extremely well. They disrupted our offense. They're also a very good home team. So we've got our work cut out ahead of us for the upcoming week.
Awesome. Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
James, go ahead.
Coach, in the last few weeks, you've had home games with Native American awareness, and then this last one with the girls and women's sport. How important is it for the program to have that kind of outreach in the community?
Yeah, super important. I also, this one obviously happened earlier in the year, but even our elementary school day, the education day, all of those are super important ways for us to engage the community, ways for us to honor different groups of people. And, the other thing is as much as it is us giving back, it's also super inspiring for our team. I feel like in every single one of those situations, our team has had like an additional thing to rally around. And, I think, it's super important for us to continue to have those types of games and again, be able to celebrate the different groups and I think obviously the Native American Heritage Game was even more special when you have Josie Hill on our team, and we were able to celebrate her in that way.
And you mentioned the players kind of having a reason to get excited about it as well. I mean, both Angie and Elise really kind of talked about that on Saturday. What did Saturday mean to some of those kids that were those little kids in growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I think, just being able to be a role model, I think we kind of talked about it after the game that, when the national anthem was happening and all the young girls that participated in the clinic lined up in front of our team, I saw several of them kind of looking back at our team, like, how do we stand? What are we supposed to be doing in this moment? And I think it was just a good reminder that, young girls are constantly watching and the opportunity to be a role model and to give hope and inspiration to the younger generation, is something that the women on our team definitely embrace, and they do a fantastic job of being role models.
Thanks, Coach.
You're welcome.
And with that, I believe it's everything.
Sounds good. No problem. Thank you.